As we have seen in the introductory video, digitizing the B2B marketplace can positively impact our world while balancing the economy between high, mid, and low-income countries. Now, our journey continues by exploring the financial services industry and the vital role it plays in this economic transformation. According to Visa Commercial Consumption Expenditure Index, the B2B, mother of all industries, has grown from $109 trillion in 2011 to $150 trillion in 2017. As this historical growth trend continues, it is projected to reach $337 trillion by 2030. That's huge, isn't it? You might be wondering, how can these numbers be so high? How can the B2B market be even higher than the world's GDP? Allow me to explain. Let us consider a car engine that is made by a supplier in Canada and is sold to a car factory in the USA. That factory assembles the engine into the car and sells it to the dealer, who in turn sells it to a final customer. So, the engine value has been traded many times in the B2B pipeline. The same applies for the thousands of parts that the car is made of. This is why the value of the B2B transactions are higher than the final value of the car. As a result, the B2B is higher than the GDP of the world. But here's the interesting part. According to an Asia Development Bank study, only 2.6% of the total B2B marketplace received bank finance. Can you imagine that? 97.4% of world trade does not receive bank finance. To capture this enormous opportunity, we need to think about the B2B in new and innovative ways. Let's start by looking at who's involved in the B2B value chain. It is made up of 19 industry clusters. These can be grouped into buyers and sellers, logistics service providers, government organizations, as well as banks and insurance companies. To better understand the B2B environment, we conducted the G20 Nations case study in collaboration with 90 ministries, IGOs, NGOs, academia, and private sector experts. What we discovered was astounding. According to the study, about 90% of respondents did not have an integrated system. Furthermore, banks and insurance companies were the least integrated in the global value chains. Banks are under extreme pressures, including public pressure to finance businesses fueling growth, lack of visibility into the global value chain that requires finance, risk-averse organizations that must protect the assets under their care, increasingly stringent government compliance requirements that further limit their opportunities, and much more. All these forces exert enormous pressure on financial institutions, driving them to hedge against uncertainty and preventing them from reaching their full potential. If they continue to use antiquated methods, financial institutions will not be able to capitalize on the market opportunities worth trillions of dollars. So, where do we start? We must start by digitizing the B2B marketplace based on what technology can make possible today and in the future. The key is to harness the power of high-quality big data in the B2B environment. Let's remember that according to the G20 Nations case study, today 90% of the B2B participants have no integrated system. Just as the millions of apps that we now use on our devices for communications and entertainment have transformed our world, we have gathered the world's top 13 technology firms, working together under one roof to deliver thousands of apps for the B2B marketplace, free of cost to the end users. These firms will work under the protection of the United Nations, and their apps will be delivered on an independent platform that safeguards data privacy and security. That platform is the Multidimensional Digital Economy Application System. We call it MEDIAS, and it will digitally connect the entire B2B value stream and help businesses to conduct their operations more efficiently and transparently. Data is harvested from real-time commercial transactions and validated from multiple sources of B2B participants across the global value chain, giving banks the integration they need to service the B2B marketplace. Here is a small illustration of the enormous size and high-quality data that can be provided by MEDIAS. Let's take a real-world example of a furniture maker. In a typical supply chain, he buys raw materials from 20 suppliers to make several lines of furniture for weekly shipments to 500 customers, where each customer has 1,000 items in his showroom. Each supplier also has 20 sub-suppliers and 500 other customers. From a logistics viewpoint, there are 10 logistics service providers in each pipeline, exchanging 20 documents per pipeline with 20 data points per document. Over the course of 1 year, this value chain will generate 1.2 billion validated data points. This is the power of Medias. The Medias effectively captures these data points through the operational apps used by B2B participants and validated independently 604,000 times by different entities, transforming this data into smart metrics, all in real time. So, how does Medias do this? Medias uses sophisticated artificial intelligence-driven algorithms to harness this high-quality data to create AxioScore. This is a multidimensional scoring to objectively measure business performance and underlying risks, represented on a scale from 1 to 5. AxioScore segregates real-time performance data into a metric across 5 key attributes: quality of product service, financeability, insurability, logistics reliability and dependability, and integration. But that's not all. Banks can dive deeper into each attribute, examining the factors that are contributing to the attribute's scoring. Banks can use individual factors with a predefined range for relevant attributes, such as financeability, that banks can use when presenting its dynamic products offering, or DPO, to the B2B marketplace. Armed with AxioScore, banks can now use AxioFin platform, the e-finance dimension of Medias. AxioFin provides the ability to create dynamic product offerings that intelligently matches financing products and services to qualified customers based on a preset risk and profitability criteria. When creating a DPO, banks can tailor the product to market requirements based on the loan size, interest rate, point of loading, point of discharge, and other relevant parameters of their choice. These include the AxioScore rating of the buyers, sellers, and logistics service providers. After all, these are the entities that will manage the financed goods. Furthermore, the DPO will include insurance companies' offers, thus minimizing banks' underwriting risk. From the customer side, a customer can log in into AxioMark, the powerful e-commerce platform, to conduct their trade transactions and use it as a gateway into AxioFin for obtaining trade financing. A buyer can use AxioMark's advanced search and multidimensional sorting capability to dynamically match buyers and sellers of B2B goods and services based on their requirements, AxioScores, and specific commercial activities. To know more about AxioMark, please watch AxioMark video in order to have a glance on its potentials. Now, back to AxioFin. Using the multidimensional sorting capability provided by AxioMark's advanced search, customers are able to know which products can be financed by banks according to their AxioScore rating matched with DPO offers. After negotiating with different suppliers, the customers will be able to select the best product or service offer and start with the logistics steps required to complete their purchases. AxioMark provides different shipment methods, including the Virtual Value Stream, VVS, for recurring shipments. Customers can build their VVS based on their shipment event requirements assigned to different logistics service providers, such as ports, ocean carriers, custom brokers, storage, etc. Banks, in collaboration with local or regional authorities, can use the DPO to plan and implement their financing policies based on many factors, including geographical location, commodities, borrower size, etc. AxioFin will allow direct payments to each participant in the BVS based on the UCT, Unit Cost Timetable. Contract obligations and performance measured through execution of smart contracts and electronic performance metrics. The UCT will provide the ability to monitor the performance of every participant and trigger payments based on confirmation of job completion, providing bill consolidation service for the global value chain. The future of B2B finance starts here. Overall, financial institutions can reduce underwriting risk by enabling access to dynamically populated borrower information duly validated by its trade partners. Lower transactional risk by controlling the use of loan proceeds. Minimize collateral risk by providing a dynamic mechanism to identify asset location and provide the ability to minimize asset impairment losses. Now that you have a basic idea about the unique features of our e-finance platform, you can begin to understand how AxioFin will create a new $7.5 trillion e-finance marketplace, generating a $2.4 trillion revenue opportunity by 2030. Well, this was a quick summary of the foundation of fintech applied to the B2B marketplace. There is too much to explain in such a short period, and I seem to have run out of time. The objective here is to give you a glimpse of the future of trade finance. This is the most important journey of the 21st century. We invite you to discover more and to join us in its success.